Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Shireen Saini and welcome to our initiative What After Dentistry. Today we have with us Dr. Priyanka Chauhan, who is working as an Associate Product Manager with 11 years of experience in business analysis in healthcare domain. She is a dental surgeon by training and has completed her post-graduation in health and hospital management in 2011. And since then, she has been working with companies like Accenture, Xavient Information Systems, Milliman, and currently she is working for SpectraMedix Private Limited. She has also attained certification in project management, business analysis, and lean management, and she keeps herself updated with the industry trends as and when required. We welcome you, Dr. Priyanka, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, ma'am. And it's really great to have you here on our platform today to discuss scope of pursuing business analysis after BDS. We welcome you.
Thank you so much, Reem, for that introduction. Thank you so much for having me on this platform. Thank you so much.
Okay, so before we start the formal discussion on business analysis, we would like to know how has been your journey after BDS, and what have been your strengths, your challenges, if you have faced any after you completed BDS.
Well, let me start right from the beginning before I start with the challenges. Is that I think for most of the people, those who finish off BDS, I think the struggle point for them is that we're not getting into MDS, so let's get into something else, right? Luckily for me, it was early during my internship that I realized that I do have management skills apart from having just the clinical skills. So I ventured on to stick to healthcare at the same time, pursue my management skills by undergoing hospital healthcare management studies. So one is doing what you like makes a lot of difference in the struggle or the path that you're about to take on. I think the journey, whether it had ups and downs, it's been blissful all the while, because I wanted to take that endeavor to learn more, right? So I think that's one of the starting notes that I'd like to start on. So for me, I think, so since this was a conscious decision, there were struggles, nevertheless. There were struggles in the sense that as a clinician, we're more of trained to, read from the books, learn from the books all the time. And we're not so technically tech savvy to, sit in front of laptops for hours. Yes, during the management studies, we do have presentations and but we don't get a habit of, just sitting in front of the laptop for 9 hours continuously, right? And delivering those jobs. And then as far as I remember, from a clinical perspective, even when you're studying, right, you're always told a pattern, right? You follow a particular pattern, as in these are the rules of the game and this is how you should go by it. This is how you should operate while you're doing stuff, right? Even as a clinician, you're basically told how to do the RCTs. These are the steps, follow those norms, right? Follows the standardized sterilization standards, blah, blah, blah. So it's so inbuilt in you that you lose that track of having to experiment, right? But when you get into a business analyst role or any role for that matter, which is not so clinical, you have to, I think that you start developing with a fear, though, at the back of your mind that ideally to excel there, you'll have to experiment. For example, even if you're trying to code something, even if you're trying to build up a small page, it's okay to make mistakes, which was not okay during your BDS days. Each small error counted a lot. Here, errors is how you build up your experience. So that's a huge change, I think, that I learned during very initial years. So yes, learning technicalities, learning technical skills, and then second thing was definitely getting into that environment, that cultural corporate culture that is there. I think initially when I started, so initially when you start as a clinician, even if you work for a very short while, you do have that sense of, that I'm a doctor, right? People come up to you, they look up to you, and your word is the final say. That sadly does not happen in the initial years of your, or in fact, it has to be much more collaborative in a corporate culture, and you have to fit into that, gain confidence, right? That's not offered on a platter, like you sit with a white blackboard there. So that's not offered on a platter. You have to gain that kind of a confidence while working with the team. So these are I think the initial, not challenges, but yes, we had to learn on the job, to make sure that these skills are inculcated within us.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely, I mean, the corporate culture and all these kind of skills, absolutely, you've correctly said it. And it's difficult to, initially it's a struggle for doctors basically to adapt to that culture. And then, at the back of the mind, you always have to say, no, this world is totally different. You can't jadify your doctorate over here. So yeah, that's
Uh,
absolutely correct. So now, when you decided to pursue this, health and hospital management, and then when you went into IT industry in healthcare domain and started working as a business analyst, what was your reaction of your family and friends that, I'm sure they would have been apprehensive that from clinical, okay, you're going into a non-clinical side, but then now it's totally like you're getting into IT. So how did you, I mean, was there anything, all these kind of apprehensions from your family and friends, and how did you react to that?
um, Absolutely, you're correct. They did have their apprehensions. Um, First of all, the story person that I am, I like to narrate that, so my parents had seen me working in a clinic, in a government hospital doing some internships. Uh, and there I am, the basement of a hospital where laundry was passing by while I was, part of being a few interviews line, for hospital administration office. And we know the hospital administration department is generally at the basement since it's a non-revenue generating department. But then, so yeah, I'd seen them in teary eyes that, okay, my doctor is not going to be doctor for the rest of her life. What is she trying to do with her life? And is it only because of money that you're trying to do that? Those kind of apprehensions that don't leave I mean, it's struggle trying to pursue and stuff like that. Yes, I mean, they did have their share of apprehensions. I think uh, one thing that I showed them off is that even while I did my BDS, I was so it wasn't for a tag, it wasn't for I had wholeheartedly learned that skill. So anytime I was very sure that, look, anytime in my career, if I feel like clinically practicing again, I can definitely go back, right? I'm sure with a little training and polishing of my skills, I can definitely go back. It's not a certification that will expire, right? Now from 2 years from now, and then you can't go back. So that was definitely a backup plan, not just not in fact a backup plan, but then that was at the back of my mind that in case I want to practice, I can always go back there, right? That's one. Two was, they were, but one is that you have to be sure of what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, what will make you actually happy doing the rest of your life. Not that the clinical practice would not make me happy, but is that I'd like to limit myself to was another question, right? Even if I did my MDS after BDS, I did not look myself as doing surgeries, back-to-back surgeries, uh, in daily life. So that's where I think I was very confident of what I'm trying to enhance, right? And I never left healthcare for that matter, that I did not want to go into something completely tangent. I'm still pursuing healthcare management. So I think that gave me confidence while continuing pursuing what I was pursuing.
I think that's very rightly said. If one can convince themselves and they know that whatever they are doing for sure is good for their benefit for the rest of their life, I think it's easy to convince the family and the close knit circle that we generally have. So yeah, very correctly said. Now, if a BDS fresher wants to start working as a business analyst after BDS, how should they go about it, what kind of skills they should learn, and are there any technical, language skills that are also required out of a, BDS fresher to learn if they want to work as a business analyst?
Um, as a business analyst, let's start by understanding that an analyst, starting with an analyst job, it might be a business analyst, it might be a data analyst, it might be a quality analyst for that matter. So, analyst is the role, and you might be serving any other XYZ department depending on what kind of trainings that you have undertaken or what kind of a job opportunity also that you're offered in the first go. So I've seen, I mean, I've been part of training uh, project when I was a trainer for business analyst, and I've seen all kind of people. The term sounds really fancy, business analyst. So I've seen people those were coming from a mechanical background and they wanted to pursue business analyst. Because it's a good paying job, it sounds fancy. So yeah, why not? And for that matter, even people those who work 9 years in marketing and now they want to shift to business analysis. So I'd like to make that clear that look, business analysis, what is business analysis is you're trying to transcend the functional requirements and the technical requirements to make sure that the business runs smoothly, right? That's a link between the so-called functional requirements and the technical requirements. It might, so that's definition. I would say that, in my understanding, is a business analyst. But nevertheless, any kind of you should understand your strengths first. What do you excel in, right? As I said earlier, once you know that you excel in a particular field, you should not limit yourself. So business analysis could be in healthcare, could be in financial sector also. It could be in any kind of domain, right? In banking sector, we have business analysts. So I've seen people, those who did BDS and those who did their post graduation from XLRI or from top institute, financial institutes in Delhi, right? And they were directly placed as a CF, not CFOs, but at a very senior position, right? But that I think that was probably their forte, that they could pursue finances, into financial stream. So understand I would say understand your strengths. Go ahead and get yourself trained to further polish those skills, right? And then a business analyst role, and followed by whatever role helps you. Definitely after BDS, you get an edge over in any healthcare organization for sure, right? Because they know that you have learned about in and out about the medicine itself. Coming back to your question, that what should they do initially? They should actually polish their skills, whether it's hospital administration, healthcare administration, management, whether it's if they want to do this MBA from a from XLRI or from any kind of top institute, or even from IIMs. We know a lot of MBBS go for IIMs and they crack IIMs, right? And they are placed in top institutes at a senior management soon after IIMs. Not that IIM is easy to crack, but yes, there are options open for us, right? So don't limit yourself that you've done BDS, so now you can only work for healthcare. That was my forte, and I tried like to pursue it that way. You can definitely polish your skills depending on your strengths. Two is the certifications. Yes, there are a lot of certifications available in the market as of now. Learning a particular language, I think that totally would help you get that kind of a obviously job only, right? You can search various portals which are available and see what is the current trend, what they want. It might help you gain a job, but that's a very narrow way of thinking. I think to get one job and pursue one certification and get, I think you should be updated, see what's there in the market, know your skills, know what the market wants, and then if you like that, if that strikes a chord, then go ahead with that. For example, if you want to learn SQL, if you think that you're good at coding and you can learn SQL, go for it. I think there'll be a lot of companies those are offering SQL and data analytics, but make sure that these whatever technical skills that you learn, they are for a very limited time in the market, and they obviously upgrade themselves within a span of 6 months to 1 year, right? So you'll have to keep yourself updated if you're backing up on a technical knowledge skill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Technical, as you correctly said, keeps advancing. The technology keeps advancing. So every now and then, like if you want to get into data analytics, it's R programming which is creating a hype. So yeah, so that's correctly said.
Python.
Python, exactly. So you will have to keep updated yourself. So now, please tell our audience that what is the scope and what are the opportunities that one can go for if they go for this kind of a certification in business analysis right after BDS, or they should pursue like a management course first and then they should go for a business analysis course.
So I'll answer the first part of the question. First is that business analysis definitely has a lot of scope, not just in India, abroad as well. Whether it's a US market or whether it's a UK market, definitely the demand is good enough and is growing, I would say, because a business analyst, as I said, does not just limit themselves to one field or one department. They generally have, as they grow in their career, they take up multiple roles, and thus there's always space for new candidates to come in, freshers. Not that the same candidate is sticking to their position for the longest time. That's the cycle. So yeah, so how do they pursue it? One is definitely going through the management course, whatever MBA or healthcare diploma course, they can pursue those. They can also undergo certification courses. Not very sure on how much the certification courses help, or basically how much confidence does it give to the recruiters that they can hire you for a handsome paying job with a certification course that you've done. But that also depends on how much expertise do you display in your interview. How much it depends on person to person actually. How much zeal do you show to learning, whether you fulfill the demand, and obviously the demand of the recruiter, right? Let's understand that each recruiter, so this was a very thoughtful thing that I think the HR, those who were training us during our MBA, they trained us that look, it's not necessary that you're the best and thus you'll be hired for every job in the world, right? Uh, each recruiter have their own demands and have their own requirements. Some of the jobs might require, a person with a BSc background, because they know the retention rate for a BSc with MBA would be more, right? For this particular job, or for that particular role, they know that kind of a culture is there, that this kind of a person would suit more, right? So each recruiter would like to suit themselves. From your end, what you can do is make sure, so you can do your MBA depending on the time it takes. Obviously, MBA is a full-time course. It takes from 1 year to 2 year, depending on what kind of MBA you're doing, whether it's an executive course or a regular 2 year course. And you can also undergo certifications. Now, there are regular certifications I've seen which are offered for about 6 months, and that require classroom trainings also. I think recruiters in general have more confidence if you have gone through a regular course rather than having done just an online course. An online course is definitely an add-on to your profile. It does give confidence only if the recruiter talks to you about it and you're able to show your evidence.
Right, exactly. So it totally depends on one individual's their own skill. How do they polish themselves and how do they present themselves basically in front of the recruiter?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, Shireen, and we've seen that for ourselves, right? Even in the same college, even for IIMs, right? We've seen the same college. Obviously, everyone was sitting in the same class, but not everyone gets hired for the highest package, right? Uh, although everyone wants that, but not everyone gets hired for the same package salary that they dream of. They might be in the same package. There might be some people, those who are not even hired by the companies through campus training. They'll have to search themselves. So it's completely depending on the situation, demand, and whether you fit the bill or not at that particular point of time.
Exactly. And right, as you said, I mean, it's very, very important for people to understand, for students basically to understand, just after you do your MHA or MBA or any kind of, post graduation, you will not give them a high end, high salary paying job. It's only once you get that opportunity, grab that opportunity, and then over the period of time, grow your skills, refine your skills, master your skills. And this journey is so long. Monetary wise, I think everyone grows irrespective of what they were having in the first job. But then it's all depends on how you are refining yourself and presenting and growing yourself as an individual over the period of time. Exactly, that is something which freshers they should understand and not demand much on the salary part, and instead focus more on their skills and refining that. Yeah, very correct.
Absolutely.
So we've seen that. I mean, I know first that you've done certifications in Prince 2, you've done certifications in business analysis and lean management. So over a period of time, how much benefit you've gained from these certifications, and how has this helped your journey in the entire being a business analyst, now a product manager? How these certifications help basically, and at what time period one should do?
Sure. So let me start by saying, when I did my business analysis training from IICB, I pursued it while I was working uh, with Accenture, right? So this was actually sponsored by Accenture. And when I was hired by campus training by Accenture after I did my hospital health management from Ayushman New Delhi. Maybe I was lucky that, I was campus placed by Accenture in the first go. But having said that, uh, while I was doing business, all these certifications, if you do it wholeheartedly, if you don't just do it for namesake, it definitely offers you an edge in understanding what you're actually doing, right? It's not that the boss has given you some job and you're just doing it for your salary every day. It gives you a structure, it helps you understand that, look, these are the core things that we are doing, this is why we are doing, what are the better ways that you're trying, why these are the better ways that you can actually uh, do the same kind of work in a more structured manner. So for business analyst training, though I did it while I was on the job in Accenture, I did my Prince certification when I was already about 4 years or 5 years already in the industry. For more than that, and I pursued my Prince 2 certification in project management. Again, another example of that, what I think that I already discussed about is that I understood that uh, having 5 years of experience as a business analyst, I need to go to the next level, right? It might be offered by my job, by my employee, or I need to scale myself up to the next skill level so that they give me that opportunity. So I did my Prince 2 certification, and I was lucky that when I started working on projects, I was offered. So when I put that across, that look, I finished this kind of a certification, I think I can handhold a project manager. I was given that kind of an opportunity. Luckily, it came out to be my one of the fortes that I still carry on. So I work as a project manager and a product manager side by side, as a product owner, and contribute to the organization. So that's another way of doing it. So it definitely helps. So I started as a lead clinical senior business analyst, and now I have worked on multiple projects as Prince on project management in my current organization. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And as you correctly said, as and when it is required, one should pursue it, and not just for the namesake of it, but only pursue if you're actually interested and if you really feel that it is the need of the hour, or you want to upskill yourself in present yourself in that manner to the recruiters. So that should always be the first, priority or first reason why one should go for certifications. So now coming to the salary part. So if a BDS fresher, they get into this IT sector as a business analyst, what is the average salary that you generally see the industry is offering for a fresher?
I think the average salary has increased recently to not less than 6 to 7 lakhs per annum. I'm talking about average. It might actually range. It has a wide range of 5.5 to whatever, to the sky's the limit, depending on from where have you done your uh, post graduation, what are the skills that you offer on the table, how much zeal do the recruiters see in you, or what can you with also basis of your prior experience that you've had, how much experience did you have while you were doing BDS, and what were you doing after you just did your BDS. All of those factors taken into account, the sky might be the limit, but yes, I think the starting salary on an average is 5.5 till 7, or might be 15 also. So might go up as much as depending on the recruiter and other factors that I just.
Yeah, I think correctly. I think that's fair enough for a fresher, and then yeah, very correctly said. So now the last part of our session, that what advice or what piece of motivational quote, if you could present, or you could just guide on to the fresh candidates who are looking to get into IT sector in healthcare domain, or if they want to switch to any other domain they wish to.
So Shrin, I'd like to stick to what I said earlier is find your forte first, right? Just don't go after money. Just don't go that, health, working clinically is a challenge. Don't think of the negatives of the BDS and jump on to business analysis thinking that this will be better paying job. So let's switch on there. I uh, there is, and then you'll be disheartened eventually seeing that there's good amount of struggle here also, right? It's not a cakewalk. You'll have to learn a lot of things that you've never heard of, right? And that is why we're building up these videos. Thankfully, you're building up these videos, and there's a straight way to go to these videos and find out what is lying in your future, or what are the struggles that you'll face. I remember myself, I used to go to LinkedIn to do, finding those people, those who did hospital administration, get their uh, post their messages to ask about that. So it's a wonderful initiative that you've taken up to help freshers after BDS. Key thing that I'd like to tell to all the BDS, keep yourself open, okay? If you're open to learning, that's one, is keep yourself open to learning. Don't restrict yourself to thinking that no, I'm a doctor, so uh, I will not learn finances, or I will not do XYZ. Obviously, keep as much as you keep yourself open to learning, uh, the better opportunities, or the more open the market is. It's not that you've done medical, now you have to do only MBBS and BDS. You can't do anything else in life. No, I think if you're hopping on to business analysis, keep your doors open. That okay, if I do an MBA, I can also, if I like something in HR, I might just put something in HR from a good HR institute. If I like financing, if I still have that thing for mathematics, I can still learn finances and do MBA in finance and be a CFO for another term. So keep your targets high, think high, keep your goals high. At the same time, keep yourself open to learning. Make sure, but keeping all of that, please make sure that you understand the market needs as well, and you understand the market as well. I understand as a fresher, you do not know much about the market, but that's why these videos are built, and there are portals. You definitely need to do your research as well on what are your fortes, is the market open for that kind of skills, uh, how can you excel in that. Make a path for yourself, make a plan B, please, and make sure that you follow, that you don't hesitate to learn and uh, have your share of struggle. Like, that's the learning point.
I think very correctly said. To just sum up everything, what ma'am correctly said, follow your area of interest. Find out the area of interest that, if you want to continue with clinical dentistry, please continue and find out even in that what is your area of skill that you actually like to pursue, and then master that skill. If you want to come on the non-clinical side, again, see what your area of interest is, and then master that particular field of interest, and then upskill yourself, be open to learning. It's not important that being a BDS or MBBS, you need to stuck to just healthcare domain. If you like finances, you're good in HR, or you're good with people, you can jump to various domains and then get yourself started and refine your skills in those particular domains. So I think that's very, very important to find out your area of interest, to find out what field actually attracts you and you're good at. So identify your skill, refine your skill, master your skill, and keep growing, keep learning. I think that's the way to success, and this is definitely going to help you. So thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our platform and sharing such wonderful insights about business analysis and how can one grow into this field and what kind of certifications they can go for, how they can upskill themselves through their journey of business analysis. And thank you so much for sharing all the insights. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and it's always a new learning whenever I talk to you. So thank you so much. And I'm sure for all the audiences who's listening us, thank you for patiently listening to us. And I'm sure this is going to motivate you to learn this new skill of business analysis, learn more about it. And there are a lot of videos, lots of content which is available on the net. If you need any help, you can always connect back to us. And thank you so much for listening us patiently. I will see you in the next video. And before that, of course, please like and share this video in your network. This might help somebody who is looking to get into this field of IT as a business analyst. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next video. Until then, bye and good luck.